Yeah, hey mate. So yeah, with 65, um, average price 65 can be much lower, around point 0.3. Can it go down to 3 max? MAXC. Yeah, I'll check the MAXC chart now in a minute. More liquidity and all here. I'll just have a look at this first, just to get a grasp of it, get a look at it. You know, right now the overall market is trying to bottom in the short term, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe not the long term. It's tough to say for sure right now. You know, Ethereum's got a bearish 3-month engulfing candle. The market would need to bounce pretty hard to try and negate that. So it is implying, if there's no strength in the market, there could be more downside later. Let's look, and then we'll come back to WIF, just to show the importance. Obviously, I mean, if Ethereum was going lower, then many coins would go lower. So it's just one of those. You know, it's you know, that is not a good candle. This is kind of implying that there is a reasonable chance that this could continue to go lower, and pretend that's a red candle right there. You know, so that's a possibility. Is this telling us that the stock market is going to have a larger pullback because there's a bearish yearly stop hunt on the stock market as well? You know, yeah, it's not ideal at the moment until Bitcoin breaks above that bullish stop hunt, and the stock market breaks out above all-time highs and gets rid of the bearish yearly stop hunt as well. You know, the crypto market is in a little bit of trouble. There's no question about it until it starts to prove itself. The thing is, we are having a bearish quarter. The problem is, you know, it's January's a quarter. Look at this. We have a bearish yearly engulfing candle here right now. This is either the exact lows, and because this is a higher low, look at the higher low on the yearly. See right here, this is either the low is in on Ethereum and somehow we're going to recover, or, you know, this is bad. And you know, there is 10 months left in this, and we've already had a bearish yearly engulfing candle. So it's kind of crazy. Obviously it's bearish, it's not good, but there is a chance here that this might actually be an amazing buying opportunity, just like here. See this here? When this dropped right down to the bottom of the green candle, that was the buy before the big bounce back up. So is this trying to bottom out? The problem is, you know, it needs to bounce within the red candle. It's not a new candle like it was here. Somehow this needs to bounce and create a giant wick on this, and that's not an easy ask. So we just need to see how we go. You know, that's a bearish candle there, but there is the possibility somehow, and there's only a month left, that this is now still this is a bullish 3-month stop hunt. But it's in a bad situation to have a bullish 3-month stop hunt, because there's a bearish engulfing candle, and there's only 1 month left. So this needs to bounce hard this month, and if this bounces hard this month right back up into the middle, next month, I mean March, and then, you know, it needs to somehow recover, and that didn't draw. Okay, then it needs to recover and do something like that. Okay, so that's the outline. Like, I mean, Ethereum needs to do that, and if the altcoins are going to do that, it literally is do or die situation for Ethereum. If this breaks down, like if this consolidates here bearishly as a weekly chart, if we have 3 or 4 bad weeks to the downside here, you know, we need to be careful that this is not going to flush. I know this broke back up, but a bearish action here could attempt to break down. The way I would compare it to would be here, right in here. So if this consolidates in a bearish manner and the moving averages come down underneath over the top of price, and then suppress price, we need to be careful that these moving averages are not going to break the price down. Okay, so we need to watch the development. So, you know, I talk about it because it's important for the overall market. Now, WIF, I want to see what this is down roughly. It's down 90%. Like, it's not a bad place. You know, of course, when it's down 90%, it can still drop further, but you have to start thinking it's into an attractive area. The one thing I will say though, Svorg, is, you know, a lot of times when you drop, like see even here, when you drop, there's usually a bounce, but then it can go lower again. When you drop in a straight line, there can often be a bounce and then go lower before a real bottom, and then move up again. That is not an exact science, but I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, well, bloody hell, that's a crazy drop. So I'm thinking a bounce and then new lows, and then maybe you know, a base and a bounce or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it'll play out, but can this do a V-shaped recovery? I'm not so sure. Normally a bounce would go to new lows again, so just be mindful of that. If it does happen and you get the bounce, maybe you want to get out at break even. Your average price around 65, you know, your average price is not bad. I mean, it's not great, but like we traded this last week. Remember 65? I forget now where I bought this. Oh yeah. So I nailed the lows, almost the exact lows here, I think, and then it bounced and went higher. I think it was that. So I took some profits and I put a break-even stop on it, slightly above break-even or something, and it ended up coming back on me, obviously, and stopped me out. I forgot about it completely, and it was just gone. I didn't even remember until yesterday when somebody asked me in the group. But this is into a very interesting level. Like if your average entry point is there, you know, any bounce at I know it's a 20% bounce, but any decent bounce at all, you know, can get you out. You can see the way it bottomed here, and you bounced. It bottomed here. Like you can see here, that's a 20% bounce. That's all you need. I know it's all, but you know, if it does bounce into your break-even point, it may be worth. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, this is a very nice stop hunt on a little bit of a base here that can give that bounce that you're looking for. So it does have real potential to give you your bounce back up into this level, hopefully anyway. I know it's not been good. The market's crashing, the market's dropping hard. The hope is that the hope is that this 3-day candle can create a bullish stop hunt, and then from the bullish stop hunt level it can get a larger bounce to the upside. So there's 1 day left in this. If this finishes weak, well, we may have to look at it again, but the hope now is that this can create a decent sized wick, or at least close inside here, right? At least, at the very, very, very least, at the end of this 3-day, this would want to close above this green line. That would then be a bullish 3-day stop hunt and allow for some sort of continuation back to the upside to get you out of your position. I do think it's possible. I feel like the market should bounce. Like we are very oversold. We're 3 days away from the end of the month. And the reason being, I think that the market will now want to create monthly wicks. Like you can see, even here there was a monthly wick. The wick at the bottom of that candle, you know, that's a 13% bounce on the wick. Here it wasn't great from the looks of it, but there is some wick there. But at the start of a new month, look where it went on the start of a new month. It actually gave you the bounce, 26% bounce. So between now and a new month, you would like to think that there could be a 26% bounce from here and into the start of a new month, because this has been a bad drop. You'd like to see some decent bounce and get you out of your position. I don't know if you want to hold this longer. I'm just kind of talking on a pretense of maybe you want to get out of break even because the trade went against you. If you're going to want to continue to average down into this to wait for a larger term bounce, I mean, that's a different thing. You're asking, can this get to 0.3? You know, it really depends on that bearish stop hunt on Bitcoin and stuff. It is possible. If Ethereum goes lower on a new quarter, if Ethereum doesn't bounce into the end of the quarter now, so if March is not a very bullish month and finishes weak, yes, WIF can go down to 0.3. Because if Ethereum is going to flush again down to, like we talked about at the start of the video, then the whole altcoin market will flush again. For now, at the very least, what I'm anticipating is a bounce here, you know, something like this. So then on a new month, you can get a bounce and a wick back up here as well, like this. And here, a small bounce, then a new month, it can get some more bounce into the start of it, into the start of the month, a bounce up in here to create a wick. Then we need to figure out if this is going to drop back to new lows again. So that's why I'm suggesting, you know, maybe the problem is there's only 3 days left, meaning that this candle is going to close pretty weak. It's not easy to just recover and bounce right back up. Maybe the market's going to prove me wrong and do that in March. I really hope it does. like something like this, you know, you get a bad candle, you get a, but look at the wick at the bottom here. We need a substantial wick here to really get the bulls back in the game here. So there needs to be some serious buy pressure in the next 3 days if this market is going to give a real recovery. Otherwise, yes, the market is still in danger of going a bit lower at a later date. So for now, we need to watch closely. For now, these lows need to hold. Let's just look here very quickly. You know, yeah, it's trying to bottom. It's trying to, I mean, it's trying to do something here. So you can see that this is the largest bounce. This is sentiment and strength candles. We can see here. So this is obviously sentiment. You can see I've enabled this sentiment. Now sentiment is extremely powerful because it can tell you when there's a real bounce. Yes, this is bouncing anyway here, but you can see that even with sentiment on, you can see it's a real bounce. There's more confirmation in this bounce because it is green on sentiment and green on the strength candles. Okay, so that is important. What happened? I mean, last time we bounced into the white 100 and we rejected. So obviously there might be a rejection here again because it's not easy to just break through the white 100 and then this might drop back and it might need a base before going higher. That is a real reality in sharp drops like this. Sometimes you need to see the base here. Sometimes you need that base. So be on alert that if it's going to get a bounce like this in a real recovery, we probably need some sort of a base, right? I would suggest. It's not essential. It's definitely not essential, but I'm just looking back here. I mean, you can see flush, and then this did give a bounce in a recovery. But this is, I like this, right? You know, you get the crash. Finally, you do put in a low. There's volume on the low. You get a bounce and a retest of the. Sorry, I just had a sneeze there. So you get the volume, you get the bounce, you get the 50% retrace down into here. There's a bit of a base. The overall bit of a. This is all a base here. Well, I should circle a whole lot of it. It all becomes a base, and then it's allowed to break to the upside. That is the type of pattern that would be nice to see. That, or you know, a bit of a base that can go higher or whatever. But I think we'll need that here. So anyway, mate, yeah, let's keep an eye on it. If you have any more questions, let me know. And yeah, it's just best to watch carefully here. Hopefully this low can hold and get some substantial bounce between now and into the start of a new month.